we're building, how we will run it, and what we can ship in the next 30 days. Just a quick note, everything here is educational and policy focused, not legal advice. I'm going to, yeah, okay. So what success looks like for tonight is we're going to run down the lane selection, the lead commitments, and a 30-day build plan. Some quick housekeeping. This is a working session. We're not publishing anyone yet as a lead without their explicit opt-in. We do have a list of about 130 names right now, nominees for leads, advisors, and the validators. We are not publishing anyone until they give us the explicit opt-in after the review tonight. We are nonpartisan and issue focused. And as always, this is educational, not legal advice. So here's a run of the show. We'll keep it very tight and decision oriented. If something is important but not decided, we'll capture it as is, assign an owner, and next steps and a deadline. So the coalition charter is available on the website, and it was also included with the nominee invitations. If someone asks, what is a WRCL? This is it in one sentence. We're convening women across the cannabis economy to help Congress finish legalization the responsible way. We want to deschedule, regulate, and align with treaty obligations so the U.S. can run a fully legal market without legal contradictions. So our three priorities are very simple: deschedule, regulate, and align. The mission is to accomplish all three steps. Tonight, we'll map each priority to deliverables, and we'll match those deliverables to working groups and leads. So the point of treaty ready is not strictly academic. This is about durability. We want a fully legal market that doesn't live inside a permanent contradiction. We want legal baking, interstate commerce, insurance, and all the legitimate business models that are afforded to other businesses. So we're pairing domestic steps, the deschedule and regulate lanes, with an explicit alignment lane that will move us into an international step at that point. So treaty alignment has multiple pathways, and we're treating this lane as a group of options with trade-offs. We are not picking a single legal posture tonight. Our founder's job is to build a credible mapping. Who are likely partners? What are the legal constraints? And what is the shortest defensible path? So these are the three lanes in the support work streams. This is how we avoid everyone talking and no one shipping. The lead roles are facilitators. They convene, coordinate, track, and deliver. If you do not have the bandwidth to lead, as I said, I'll be sending out emails this weekend to people that have already been nominated for these lead positions. If you don't have the bandwidth to lead, we still want you as an advisor or a sponsor. Also have very high leverage roles for us. Let's see. So this is our definition of progress. Shipping staff-ready tools and running a real cadence. The goal is not one big moment, it's consistent output and consistent relationships. And we want this now. I'm probably the world's most impatient person. So my role is to keep it moving and see if we can stay on track. So tonight we'll assign owners for the March and April deliverables first. So just by an operation plan, we have week by week outputs. We'll, again, we'll tighten owners down tonight. Some are placeholders until we finalize our nominees and invitations, and those individuals opt in. The principle is ship weekly. We'll The scoreboard is intentionally boring. We measure activity that directly creates outcome. So the founders are here because you can help us move faster. These nominees, especially our best fit nominees, are policy and experts in their lane. This is a very big architecture with a lot of moving parts and a lot of leaders. So we're trying to make all of these roles very bite-sized and manageable, no matter what capacity you might have to offer. The 4 asks that we have for the founders is very realistic. We have a lane selection. Let us know what your role interest is. Provide 2 introductions and 1 artifact review. The intros are the highest leverage early on. They create meetings, partners, and credibility. So this is how we prevent the coalition chaos. There are a lot of organizations involved as well, as you know. So for our cadence, we'll have a short weekly operational meeting, monthly membership briefings, and working calls only when we have drafts to review. We're working on a Microsoft first platform, so we're not fighting a tech stack. And the norms are just calm, credible, and issue focused always. So that wraps up my initial presentation here. After tonight, we will send a quick lane and role confirmation form and an action tracker. Please prioritize 2 introductions this week. If you do want to get involved, that's the highest leverage founder move. So hopefully we'll see you in the next working calls and in the first monthly member briefing. So if you have any questions, I am more than happy to answer those for you now. You might have to unmute yourself. So, but otherwise, like I said, I'll provide the slide deck and a detailed description of each lane and each role, the deliverables that are expected. So yeah, it's very simple, built for very busy people. Okay.
How many hours a week are you wanting people to commit?
For the weekly sessions, probably we're hoping to keep that pretty tight, down to 30 minutes. Like I said, people are very busy, so I try to run a pretty tight ship. I just went through my 30-minute presentation in 15 minutes. So yeah, I'm here and available to do heavy lifting if somebody needs support. Um, what we're hoping is that each lead is going to have 2 or 3 people that work in that work stream and producing those deliverables. Again, they are, I would say, probably for supporters, we're looking for kind of a monthly engagement. That would be great. We'll be sending out monthly updates. For the working groups, we'll be meeting weekly. I would expect someone that is in a lead position to probably be spending around 5 hours a week, five
Okay,
hours a week. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, sure. And again, I will send, there's more detailed information on the website as well. And I will send a document that actually has every role. I think there are 12 altogether. Every work stream broken out with details.
Okay.
Yeah, I will probably throw too much information at you, so I'm trying to keep it concise. Like I said, we've already had several. We have had a few people step in and say accept our invitation as leads, which is really exciting because, of course, those initial emails went out to the best fits without um, approaching us. I mean, we wanted to extend the invitation before we really kind of put it out there and launched. So we're hoping that the best fit nominees will accept the position, but those are also, our very best hope and for leads because the high level that they're working at. But um, we also have the support groups beneath each one of those leads too. Those people can probably expect to maybe commit 1 or 2 hours a week. Hi, John. How can I help you?
Hi, thanks. Yeah, I had a couple of questions. One, it seems that the coalition will be quite focused, if not entirely, on US law and the Congress. Um, but of course, some of the treaty related stuff relates to system and therefore other countries. So, in terms of participation in the coalition itself, given the US focus, is it going to be, predominantly US people? And then secondarily, to what extent is the coalition uh, related to or adjacent to the US cannabis industry or actors in the industry in a way that might um, cause complications for nonprofits and civil society groups who are engaged in the space from being involved? Maybe not even because they don't share
Hmm.
the viewpoint, but because uh, it's not the right approach for a civil society or nonprofit advocacy group to take.
So that's true. We do have 3 completely different lanes. The first is legislative. Um, Next is regulation, which is mm, a heavy lift. We have a lot of different sectors that have to pull together everything, public health and policy and guardrails, enforcement, all of that. The third lane, the treaty lane, is where we move to the international forum. And as I said, there are no decisions or right or wrong. What we're wanting to do is build a defensible pathway. Looking at it from the perspective that the cannabis industry within the United States has certainly hit a critical mass, a tipping point. We are completely frustrated with the restrictions to normal commerce. If we were to have a fully federalized legal market within the United States, it would represent one of the largest cannabis markets in the world. I think that if the US is able to not take a lead, but definitely participate in the modernization of um, the treaty, and it would open up international commerce for those countries. It's really about a modernization of the policy. So the treaty lane really stands on its own, and it's going to require that mapping. And that's not, of course, um, something that is done from an organizational standpoint, but it's our hope that what we end up with is very actionable tools that can be used by all of the organizations. We're hoping to kind of augment and supplement those grassroots NGOs. You know, we are inviting NORML to work with us and participate with us. Um, so yeah, the treaty lane is really stands on its own, but I'm hoping that um, just because of the size of the US, that if we take a strong defensible position, we can get it done with the right partners. So, you know, as I said, we're not picking a lane. We are looking at the options and trying to figure out what is durable, what is executable.
Right, right. And regarding the relationship between the coalition and you and the U.S. cannabis industry or others or actors within the industry in this, because that may affect the degree to which
Mhm.
civil society or nonprofits in this space feel that they can engage.
Okay. Well, we are nonpartisan and strictly policy based. So we're not trying to infringe or step on anybody's toes. Like I said, we've invited a lot of those organizations to um, be a part of the coalition as a complementary project. We are not a nonprofit. There's no formal framework established. We aren't doing any campaigning. We're not fundraising. Right now, we are just strictly trying to you know, achieve the mission of pulling it all three pieces together. I'm not sure if there is any one other group. I mean, I'm certain that there is, but what makes us a little bit different is that the regulate lane is probably the most challenging aspect of this entire project and coalition because there are so many moving parts. If I go back to what our lanes are here, so we've got the deschedule, regulate, and align lanes, but within those, we have those supporting work streams. People that focus in and are experts and at a high level in those areas, specifically within the cannabis industry or policy or government or regional international liaisons. It would be important for us to build, an interstate lane is going to be a coalition building, between partners. And so it's just drilling down into that entire process and trying to get these pieces moving, and trying to get it done with a request for 180 days for if we can get to scheduling and we can get to 180 days of instruction instead of a lot of ambiguity, I think that would go a long way. The problem with rescheduling is that, that's a 20-year process of these 20 different agencies and organizations that all have to have their studies and policies and regulations and enforcement, and we have to have a cannabis regulatory agency. So there's a tremendous amount of moving pieces that need to be pulled together, and it's going to take a large number of people at a very high level to actually execute it. And I think, Don, I shared with you kind of an idea of the various individuals that we would love to have involved. And of course, there are going to be conflicts and or other areas where it's not going to be feasible for someone to work with us, even as an advisor. So we just keep moving.
Great, thank you.
You, Erin, what are you thinking?
I was just thinking that I was looking forward to getting more information, and all of this sounds very interesting. Obviously, I come from the banking side, and I know that's really challenging. So, yeah,
Right.
I'm interested in seeing how I can help. Definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, you name the sector, we need it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's uh, if uh, I guess in my head, I kind of imagine um, an interstate commerce model that's a little bit like alcohol or recreational cannabis,
Mhm.
and then the FDA lane, for the pharma. So I'm kind of hoping we can, I don't feel like we have to reinvent the wheel. This is just economics and business model. It's just math. If we can figure out how to structure it and legislate it and regulate it and enforce it, that's that's the big piece we're missing. That's the big hole, the void that we have to fill to connect the two pieces between descheduling and any treaty arrangement. So there's just an enormous amount of pieces to pull together. So yeah, we definitely need operators in every area, fintech, banking, yeah, you name it. VCs, yeah. There is an awful lot of information available on the website, but there will be a SharePoint site where we'll be able to work from, a team site with a SharePoint server to store files and data that can be shared. So once we have people signed on, we'll get you access to that back end where you can start taking a look at the details of kind of what we're building. I'm just more of an architect and pushy, just to keep everybody moving. So yeah, I'm more than happy to take any recommendations, improvements, comments, complaints. Just let me know.
I appreciate you getting this together. It needs to be done.
Yeah, well, it's a little it's in its draft form. The launch really came up. Well, actually, I was very excited about the launch, but had a small family crisis come up. So Tuesday night, I jumped in the car and drove 36 hours to Portland, and 4 hours later, here I am.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. So gonna be able to finally settle in and get 36 hours of work done that I had intended to get done before the meeting. So yeah.
We understand.
Yeah, you know, kids, what are you gonna
Yes.
do? Okay, so if you have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap it up here, and I'll be sending out notes and invitations, and I will also provide a link where you can kind of set up your opt-in for participation and what you want your role to be. And we have every level of participation for every level of capacity. So
Perfect.
Great.
yeah, the more the merrier.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Sure.
everybody.
Thanks for inviting me to join tonight too,
Absolutely.
Angela.
Thank you so much for attending. And I hope to talk to you all soon.
Thank you. Have a great night,
Great.
everybody.
You
You
too.
too. Thank you. Thanks.